Hey, check that out. You're listening to the Bench Podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bench Podcast. My name is Joey, and I'm joined by all my friends here. Exciting day today as we got a packed house. Angel, of course, co-host as usual in the bottom left there. You got Gabe, the other brother, top left, flexing with that. Room of. Goodness gracious, Gabe, flex much?
Yeah, you get some headaches if you stay in there long enough.
Jesus. The polite pistol himself in the bottom right-hand corner. Drew, what's up, big dog? And then Derek Vu in the top right, back with us for a second time. I'm glad you came back and we didn't scare you off.
Oh, no, man. Thanks for having me. I love being here.
Hell yeah. Member of the 12, of course, the Seattle Seahawks. Having a great offseason, man. Good for you.
It's looking good.
Let's get about everyone who's talented. Get the fuck out of here.
It's looking good for 2026. So
we can't use you. You can't. You're
too old. You're 27.
If you're watching here on YouTube for the first time, welcome to the channel.
Hi.
There you go. That worked. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We have a lot going on. We are 365 around here on the Bench Podcast. And with that in mind, set your reminders, put on your calendar, put on notifications, wherever you need to do. April 24th, this crew right here, plus a couple more, will be live for the first round of the NFL Draft. Last year we did it. We streamed for 6 hours. We had Netflix's Coach JB from Last Chance U on. This year we'll have a couple of guests on. So far, the only one confirmed is Big Smitty from the Coach JB show. Big Smitty. Excited to have him back on, talk a little draft. We'll have a couple other guys on as well, but it's going to be a good time, a great way to enjoy the draft. We're going to talk about every pick, react to every pick, and just have a good time. And I think we're going to give away some cards, maybe some football cards, some
longest yard cards. Yeah,
good way to put it. It's a good way to put it.
Definitely started on that team.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Make sure you join us for that. If you're listening on the audio version of the podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your audio podcast, thank you for joining the audio version of Bench. Brought to you, of course, by the Fans First Sports Network. Don't forget to check them out. A lot of cool podcasts on our friends over there. And then check us out at Bench Show on all the different socials, except for Threads. I don't think – do we do Threads?
We have Threads. No one
never
uses
mind.
it.
I'm not sure what happens on Threads, but I guess we have it there. But no, check us out on TikTok, Instagram. I got on Twitch today.
Yeah, that's new.
I felt old being on Twitch.
Easy.
Those guys are on Twitch all day long.
And they're millionaires.
Yeah.
And they're literally millionaires.
That blows my mind. That's awesome. But yeah, we're on Twitch now if you want to follow us on that as well. And of course, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, depending on who you voted for. Go ahead and follow us on that as well at Bench Show for all of that. And then lastly, .com, home of the Bench Beat, articles on fandom, fantasy, and all things NFL. Brand new article by the Professor David Adams, the big board, his big old brain put together a big board for the draft. Go check that out. It is great toilet reading. Literally won't take you that long. It's perfect. Get yourself ready for the draft in one poop sesh. All right, that's all we got. Let's take a quick break and we're getting to the news. All right, we're back with the news. The news, of course, is brought to you by BETR Picks. Right now, if you download BETR Picks, use our code BENCHD, you will get your first $250 deposit matched and a free pick. Use BETR Picks for all the sports, NHL, MLB, NFL, when that's back going. Everything simple over-unders. It's a great way to capitalize on all the sports knowledge that we've accumulated and actually convince our significant others that it's worth something when you win some money on it, right? I don't know. I did okay. Playoffs.
Yeah. Just being from California, just any way to bet, we'll take it. Insane.
That's a great way to. We don't say bet, Angel. We can't say bet.
It's not
we play.
Bet.
We play.
We're playing.
Fucking
responsibly.
There you go. Use BETR Picks. Sports just got better. I think that's their tagline. That's fine. Let's get into the news here. Let's start with this wonderful, wonderful story. If you're an Eagles fan, this is it's Christmas all over again. The Giants and Super Bowl winning quarterback, that's an interesting way to put it, Russell Wilson, have reached an agreement today on a 1-year deal worth up to $21 million. Good God, including $10.5 million guaranteed. The 10-time Pro Bowl selection had been in discussions with the Giants, Browns, and Steelers, but is opting for New York, where Wilson won Super Bowl, blah, 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 blah. Now Wilson is returning there as the Giants' starting quarterback. So it's not Aaron Rodgers, apparently. It's not going to be one of the top rookies, I don't think. Looks like Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's the duo that's going to save Brian Dable's job. We have someone who knows a lot about Russell Wilson. Well, I guess two someones now, ex-Bronco, ex-Seahawks. We'll go to you first. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Is Dable getting fired by week 3 or 4?
Well, that's Mr. Unlimited to you, first of all. Right? No. Well, you know, he's gonna make Malik Neighbors change him from a top 20 wide receiver to a top 20 receiver. So, I don't know what Russell Wilson has left in the tank, but
nothing.
I'm yeah. 10.5 million is probably 20 million in a sense is probably more than I thought he would have got. I thought he had a chance to come back to Seattle on a minimum deal. Once we sign Sam Darnold, it's not going to happen. I think his ego is too big to let him come back to Seattle. So he really wants to just set himself up, be in the bright lights. He loves kissing babies. So I guess it fits him more than the Giants really need him.
God, the stupidity the Giants are displaying is just incredible. It's incredible. 2 off seasons, you do stupid shit. This is like cherry on top. Let's sign Russell Wilson. It's kind of like a 1-year 10, but 21 million, whatever. Either way, it's all 2 things. Shedeur Sanders is going number 2 overall. They must have heard that and said, let's just get a quarterback now. Let's just get it over with. And Aaron Rodgers is not going to New York because why the hell would you go to Joey over under 4 wins? I'm being serious. Over under 4 wins with that team, that battle line, and just neighbors. For now, the draft hasn't happened yet.
I think their defense got better. I really do with Javon Holland and some of the stuff Paulson Adebo. I think their defense really did get better. But yeah, I mean, this ain't it. I honestly, I don't know if I'd rather give just Drew Lock a chance, see if at least there's something there. Jameis Winston is the most likable, terrible quarterback in the league. And Russell Wilson is the least likable, terrible quarterback in the league. I just don't. But honestly, this is a result of a mistake they made ending the season. They couldn't tank right. No. They won meaningless games at the end of the year, got themselves out of that top pick, and now they have to do this now. What else are they going to do? They're not getting Shedeur. They're not getting Cam Ward. Aaron Rodgers don't want to go and run for his life in New York. And then, of course, you don't want to go from the Jets and then go play for the Giants. And so they don't have an option here. They have to take these are the best guys available. Unless you want to go get Kirk Cousins, who can't freaking walk. Yeah. What else are you gonna do? These are what you have to do. And they're gonna finish last in the NFC East, which I'm okay with. It's just it was all going kind of okay until quarterback still doesn't make sense. Would you? I mean, Gabe, I'll ask you this: would you rather, if this was your team, they do something like this, or just go pay the farm if it was possible? To get Shedeur or Cam Ward?
No.
I mean, kind of what Angel said. They probably got word from somebody that those guys probably aren't going to be there. So it was just a panic move. And I think I'd rather just, if I'm a fan, I'd rather just go for the panic move. I mean, Jameis Winston, he's pretty bad, but at least he'll throw you 30 touchdowns along with 30 picks. But I mean, I think right now
he's literally done that.
He has. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather trust him than Russell. The 10.5 million, whatever you get guaranteed him is gone anyway. So, I mean, it's all crap, and I guess this is the best looking crap, if that makes sense.
Man,
I'll take it.
You're desperate to win, and this is your last year, and your go-to move is to sign Russell Wilson. Like Joe Shane and Brian Dable's tenure is going to be just marred by stupidity. It's. The HBO show killed them. They hate HBO. They're not subscribing to HBO Max anymore. Oh, yeah. Because that killed them. Now you have actually they should do it this season. I would love to see how they sign Russell Wilson and how they do in the NFL draft. This is a fantastic, beautiful mind.
They learned their lesson last year.
You want to go into a camp with a quarterback battle between Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson?
I would have just kept Jameis. And Jameis, you play for a year. At least you'll be entertaining. Who likes Russell Wilson? What fan base? Seattle fans don't like him anymore. Bronco fans hate him, and he is the most dislikable, unsexy quarterback in like the entire. I'm so tired of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, they need a podcast. Just two unlikable dudes.
I tell you what,
you don't like it for different reasons, but whatever.
During training camp, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are going to compliment the hell out of each other in the pressers.
They'll be great teammates.
They know how to speak right. This reminded, and we'll move on after this. This reminded me of when you build your team in Madden, and then your franchise quarterback gets hurt, and you have no plan. So you just go pick up everyone on the free agent list, and these are usually those guys. Hopefully one of these guys work.
They carry you.
Yeah.
It's like fantasy, honestly. Your quarterback is down, and you'll pick up one of these guys. They got to be good, or at least put up some points.
Let's hope you accidentally run into a touchdown. Let's move on here with another story that's kind of encouraging. I mean, the Bengals are fully prepared for Jordan Schultz to negotiate a new deal with edge Trey Hendrickson. A trade is reportedly off the table for Hendrickson. So after all the drama, all the back and forth throughout the offseason, at the end of the day, it's going to be most likely Hendrickson, Higgins, both back in Cincinnati. I mean, good on the Bengals, I guess. We'll start there. We can't tear them apart all summer. You're going to lose all your guys. And then they find a way to keep them and not give them their flowers. Good job on them for that. But raise your hand if you're hoping your team was going to get Trey Hendrickson this offseason.
Nope. We don't need him.
Okay.
Just kidding. Yeah. He's a stud, man.
Angel, how impressed are you that they managed to wait? Let's not do it yet, but they seem like they're going to find a way to keep all these guys.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, you don't let T. Higgins walk for nothing. You don't let Trey Hendrickson out of the building. They just follow the Jerry Jones model. Let's just wait till everyone's pissed and then sign them for about $5 million more than what they should be. Let's wait for after Max Crosby gets extended, after Myles Garrett gets extended. Now let's sign him for about $42 million per year. But honestly, good for them. This is the only good thing about the defense last year was him. So yeah, I mean, good on them.
I want to go Andrew, Derek, and Gabe. After these moves, let's say they lock up Trey Hendrickson. What is the ceiling for this Bengals team with this roster?
Ceiling?
As far as wins?
Yeah.
Ceiling? I mean,
yes, as far as wins.
I think ceiling.
What the hell? Ceiling, no, as far as bananas. The hell?
As far as he can throw, Joe Burrow can throw bananas.
I think their ceiling, if they stay healthy, I think is probably 10 to 12 wins. It's the absolute ceiling.
Okay, so around a wild card-ish.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Derek?
The ceiling probably wild card, just exactly where they were. You got to run through the Ravens. You got to run through. I guess you got to run through the Browns and the Steelers, who aren't that much of a threat. But
nice stroll.
I like how Angel pointed out the general manager just waited till the worst time to pay these guys. You franchise tag T. Higgins twice. You could have got him for 20 to 25 million. Now you got him for 33 million. Great job. Great job.
Yeah, that's how
you could have got Jamar Chase last year for $1 more than Justin Jefferson. 35 million. And hey, good job. You give him the best non-quarterback contract in the history of the NFL.
That's good.
And this is on top of you already paid Joe Burrow 30 minutes before the first game last year, right? So then you want to pay Trey Hendrickson. So I guess I hope all of them can play offensive line and DB too. So good luck, Bengals.
Yeah, good luck.
Before Gabe goes real quick, I think next time I hear a general manager say, I'm going to bend over backwards to sign this guy, I'm going to pause a little bit. I'm going to pause a little bit and have them define that. What exactly does that mean? Because if this is bending over backwards, goddamn, this is awful. Gabe.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the money here. I mean, you guys have already kind of touched on it, that they pay these guys the maximum amount they could possibly pay them. My thing is that last year they had all four of these guys. You had the two receivers, you had the quarterback, you had the pass rush, and you missed the wild card by the 40 points. I forgot what team scored that kind of killed their opportunity to go there. But I'm saying now that you're paying all this cash for all these guys, do you even have money to improve everyone else around them? Because you could say, well, we have good receivers. And that then I could also say, and that didn't get you to the playoffs last year. Do you even have money left over to build a team around those guys now? That's my big concern.
Yeah, now they're gonna have to go into every NFL draft and just get at least 2 starters for the
You
next
better hope
3
your
years.
scout, your scouting department needs to be on point this year.
It puts so much pressure on your scouting department. Like you need to hit, or else we're gonna be 9-8 or 8-9 or whatever for the next 3 years.
You guys are all wrong. They're gonna win the AFC North, and they're gonna be in the AFC Championship game. Joe Burrow is about to go scorched earth because you don't doubt that man. Joe Burrow answers the call.
He did that last year.
He went scorched earth.
It's gonna be different though. It's gonna be different this time.
A different type of scorched earth.
I do want to
go some shady.
We give Joe Burrow is one of the most celebrated quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl ever. We all love Joe Burrow. I do want to stop thanking this guy for getting T. Higgins paid. You got him a 1-year contract. I don't want to hear any more of like, yeah, he got his boy paid. It's a 1-year contract with no guarantees left after this year. So yeah, you got him a nice 1-year deal, kind of an upgrade on the franchise tag. But I don't know. Last one here for you boys. Stefon Diggs is the new wide receiver 1. Look at this freaking contract. 3 years, $69 million, 26 guaranteed for a 31-year-old receiver coming off a torn ACL, coming off a season from when he was healthy. Wasn't anywhere near the wide receiver 1, and yet the Patriots finally got so desperate that they said, Stefon, we will give you literally anything to come play wide receiver 1 for Drake May and those boys. Who wants to go first on this one? Because I'm not. Does anyone have a positive take on this? Let's start there.
Okay.
They got their wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Positively, this is a horrible. I honestly think. Like it came out this morning that DK had an offer to go to New England. They said no. That damn racist town cannot convince a black guy to go play wide receiver. Like the last 3 years, been trying to get someone of talent to go over there. And they just cannot unless you're Kendrick Bourne or whatever the hell they have over there. Shouldn't. This is a crazy overpay. I want to see the guarantees of year two and year 3, but desperation makes you do stupid stuff. We were praising the Patriots since day one. Milton Williams, Carlton Davis. This is a dumb contract for a team that's too desperate, and I don't know if he's going to even be worth half of this money.
I want to be consistent here because to me this is pretty much what the Commanders did. I don't mind the move because you were so bad at wide receiver. It's an overpay, just like Deebo Samuel's an overpay, $20 million for a year, but. If this is a move, cool. If this is the move, and come week 1, this guy's legitimately lining up as your wide receiver 1.
Yikes!
Awful, really, really bad. You can't rely on him to be there for all the 17 games. You can't rely on him to show up every single game. Like it's just, how do you get to this point where this is the only guy you convince to come to town? Like this is the only guy they could convince to come is an older wide receiver coming off an injury and just wanting to get one more payday. And they end up with Stefon Diggs. Honestly, I'd rather just wait and take Travis Hunter at 4.
Yeah, this kind of solidifies. We had in a lot of mocks and our mock we had Abdul Carter going 4. This kind of makes him go 4, right? It's kind of like he won't get past 4.
Yeah.
Because now they have the wideout. Cornerbacks kind of already solved for them. So. But yeah, I would have just waited for Amari Cooper for a 1-year cheap deal. I wouldn't have signed Stefon.
I'd rather have Amari Cooper than Stefon Diggs. I don't
understand what the difference is besides Stefon Diggs at one point is a diva, and no point in Amari Cooper's career ever has he ever been labeled as a diva. It's just
I'm talking about just on the field. I just think Amari Cooper at this point is just a better
on the field it's pretty bad because he was not good last year, and he had C.J. Stroud, and that didn't work out, and now he's hurt. So I don't know. It's bad. I don't like it.
Derek, save us. Give us a positive spin on this, man.
I don't know if I have a positive thing to say about the Patriots. But if you're going to choose a number 1 receiver coming off an ACL, why don't you just trade for Brandon Ayuk? He's being shopped around. His 2-year bonus, his bonus for 25 and 26 is due on April 1st. So the Niners, if they are truly looking to rebuild, they could get off his contract and get some draft picks for Brandon Ayuk, who's 27 years old, coming off an ACL, and honestly hasn't been a locker room problem. So I don't understand what the Patriots are doing here. Yeah. Also, you have guys like Cooper Kupp who got 3-year, $45 million deal. And then you want to just give the guy coming off an ACL 3-year, $69 million deal. Makes no sense.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
think the contract is deceiving. It's basically a 1-year deal, and most of the guarantees.
Well, the same thing as Cooper Kupp's, right?
Yeah, right.
But
yeah. So it's
169 and 145.
Yeah.
It's bad. Don't like it. The progression of Drake May. Oh man, between Josh McDaniels and Stefon Diggs, I don't know which is going to hurt him more in his development.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Maybe they do take Travis Hunter still at 1, and if they end up with Travis Hunter and Stefon Diggs, I guess that's a little
good.
better.
Yeah,
you still have a massive hole at left tackle, so I'm not sure which one is worse, not having a left tackle or not having a wide receiver. Either one is pretty bad, and there's no tackles left on the free agency market. But nonetheless, good for Stefon Diggs. Hey, let's hear for Stefon Diggs. Getting paid.
Get that back,
one more
dude.
time. Yeah. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, Angels top 10 pre-draft edition. Be right back. Here are the top 10 picks in the 2025 draft. With the first overall pick, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. I don't think they missed the opportunity to draft a potential franchise quarterback. With the second pick, the Cleveland Browns select Shador Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado. Jump at the opportunity to turn the page from Deshaun Watson. The New York Giants are picking number 3. I think they go with Armand Membo here, tackle out of Missouri. The New England Patriots at number 4. I think they're taking Will Campbell, tackle out of LSU. The only thing worse than not giving your young quarterback great weapons is not being able to protect him. The Jacksonville Jaguars are picking 5, and I think they're taking Travis Hunter, wide receiver quarterback out of Colorado. At number 6, the Las Vegas Raiders will be selecting defensive end Abdul Carter out of Penn State. With the 7th overall pick, the New York Jets select Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. The best player that no one's talking about in this top 10. Number 8, the Carolina Panthers are selecting Tet McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona State. Drake London, but better after the catch. At number 9, the New Orleans Saints select Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas. Finally, at number 10, the Chicago Bears will select Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. So that's my top 10. Let me know how I did. All right, we are back with Angels top 10 pre-draft edition. Let's jump right into it here with the full list. At number 10, the Washington Commanders, still living off a playoff run in Angels' mind. At number 10 with Jaden Daniels, they got who?
Larry Tunzel. That's probably the only guy. I'll get into it, but Tunzel's the only guy that I actually like them getting. They got the ghost of Michael Gallup, though, so the day saved. I'm just a big Jaden Daniels fan, and that he just might be the next superstar.
Bo Nix and the Broncos at number 9. And it went 2 teams in from the AFC West here so far. Maybe one more on the way. We'll see. Gabe's Green Bay Packers at number 8. Let's go through it all first, then we'll comment on that. Gabe's Packers at number 8. That's the fourth NFC North team on this list, which is pretty impressive. Although it did work out in the playoffs last year. Minnesota Vikings there as well, going in with JJ McCarthy. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm kind of glad it's not some vet. I want to see what maybe this is the guy who finally takes them over the top. We'll see. The LA Rams, I think, I'm just going to say it right now, they are way too low on this list, but we'll get into it. At number 6. At number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. Are they good? Sometimes.
In the regular season.
Yeah. The Lions at number 4. Lost both coordinators. That's massive in my mind. The Chief coming off that ass whooping in the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Chiefs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Joey.
Yes. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills, and number 1, the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles. It's good to see, boys. It's really good to see them up there. Just outside of Angels' list, the Joe Burrow Cincinnati Bengals, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Chicago Bears. Angel, go ahead.
Okay, so this is kind of into three tiers here: Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Lions, and Ravens. Kind of one tier. You elbow all that off to the Rams, Vikings, kind of their own kind of tier because the roster and the head coach. Then you have the Packers, Broncos, Commanders in their own tier. I'll start from 10 and then go up. Commanders, okay, I'm just a Jaden Daniels guy. I think he's a better quarterback than most people are giving credit for. But besides that, I was talking to Gabe earlier. And this is the one criticism that I have. After going through this list, going through it today and figuring out top 10, they were a good team last year, yeah. I don't know if they got better. I think they just got different players in different spots. Because last year they had one good lineman, Cosme. He's gone. Yeah, now you have one good lineman, Tunzel. So that's even. Deebo Samuel, if you close your eyes and just look at and think about 3 years ago, he is not that anymore. Get that out of your head. He's not that anymore. He's just a number 3, which is nice. for them because they didn't have number 3 last.
But in 2021, he was so good.
We're in the that's a different president. Like that. Like let's not live in the past here. Like we've moved on. America's great again. I'm gonna the Commanders lost Jeremy Chin. I don't know why they let him go, and they kept Bobby Wagner because he's a very, very nice guy. But he's not a very good linebacker. But he's a very, very nice guy.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I still love Jaden Daniels more than all of that. I love Jaden. I think he might be in the next 2-3 years an MVP. I love Jaden Daniels. He's poised. He's fantastic.
I feel like we don't need to move any farther from here. You see the first teams out for Angel. If you guys have another team in mind, I want to hear from you boys. The Commanders are sitting number 10. Bengals, Bucks, Steelers, and Bears. Would you take any of those teams over the Commanders? Let's start with Gabe, go to Andrew, and then Derek.
I think you gotta automatically take. I mean, if the Commanders are going to kind of stay the same, if not, probably be slightly worse than they were last year. I think the Bengals 10 out of 10 games would beat them probably 9 out of 10 times. You got to put the Bengals there at number 10. They're bringing back all their guys. They're coming back rejuvenated. Again, I'm optimistic because I just made the point a couple minutes ago about they got they had the same thing last year. But if I'm taking a head-to-head matchup here, I'd put the Bengals at 10. I think they're better than the Commanders at the moment.
Andrew.
No, I agree with it. Actually, the only team that I would maybe consider in that 10 spot is actually the Bucks. But the Commanders, I think it's the right call just because I also agree with Angel's take. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be very soon a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I think he will be. I'll be in the upcoming years. I think he'll be top 5.
He's just a superstar. He's so good. I was so impressed by him. The best rookie season I've ever seen. That was after C.J. Stroud had a great year. Like he's the best quarterback.
I feel like we're doing this all over again. But Derek.
When I first saw this list, I thought, what was the Broncos doing ahead of the Commanders? But then I did look at their offseason. They did make some nice moves. I'll give them that. And I'll have to agree. The Commanders, their moves are less than inspiring for a team that should be ascending, right? This should be the time where you make those free agent moves. And the big splash is Deebo Samuel, 3 years removed from his best season. The team I would put in there, I probably wouldn't put any of those bottom 4 in there. I'd probably put Commanders right where they are.
Yeah. I feel like there's definite holes in those teams. Like Bengals, they did what they're gonna be what they are last year. You gotta win by 40. You gotta win 40-39, and I'm not trusting a team that has to win like that.
Well, I mean that's the point I'm about to make. Like I feel like the Bengals and Commanders they're both relying on the quarterback to be a Superman, and I just trust Joe Burrow to be that Superman way more than I trust Jaden Daniels to be. Not to mention they have the 2 stud receivers. They're both going to have to score a lot of points. The Commanders are going to have to score so many freaking points to win games. They got worse on defense. Jonathan Allen's gone. 10-sack. Dante Fowler's gone. You mentioned Jeremy Chin. Like, they lost a lot on defense that was already awful, could not stop anyone. They had Deebo Samuel. Michael Gallup, by the way, is back. He's going to play football again. And they brought Zach Ertz back. I mean, they've done nothing on offense to make you think that they're going to be any better. They're just going to be older. So, in theory, they're just going to be worse. I think the Bengals are just a much better version of the Commanders. So I would have but I do agree with you with the Bucks, Steelers, and Bears. I think they haven't done enough to overtake the Commanders. I put the Bengals over, and really that's not a huge change, just one team. But yeah, I would have the Bengals over there. But I get Jaden Daniels. I mean, you can't judge him off C.J. Stroud's year last year. Like, he's his own guy, and he's gonna obviously do what he's gonna do no matter what C.J. Stroud does. But I know I am. Maybe we're all a little bit scarred by what C.J. Stroud just did to us last year, coming into his second year. Angel, you're next. Where does this tier stop?
It stops with the Packers at 8. I was actually debating 8 and 9, or I talked to Gabe earlier about it. These teams are very similar. I think there's more blue chip players on the Packers than there are on the Broncos currently, so that's why I had Packers 8 and Broncos 9. But Broncos top 5 defensive unit last year. They added Greenlaw, Hufanga on defense, who already stacked unit. Then on offense, we still have obviously the running back position is horrible, but Evan Ingram, tight end, to pair with Bo Nix, they're on the rise. But this is obviously, people are gonna say, well the Bengals have Joe Burrow, but this kind of conjecture. I think Bo Nix takes another step this year, and the defense is still going to be, if not good, if not better than they were last year. Yeah, Broncos are an ascending team. I don't think that's a stretch at all. They've gotten their defense got better, and so did their offense.
Does anyone have a problem here with the Vikings, Packers, Broncos order? Let's start there. Let's go. Andrew, Derek, Gabe.
Yeah, I do. I think actually I would put Broncos at 10, and I think I would put the Commanders above the Packers.
Oh.
In my opinion, I would the way I do it. I do Broncos 10, Packers 9, Commanders 8.
Damn.
I think the Vikings are fine, but I don't know. We don't know enough about JJ McCarthy. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the one. Vikings are tough because you love the roster, you love the offense, defense, you have everything you want for a team to go to like the Super Bowl, but you just don't know with JJ McCarthy. He can
Derek, how do you feel about that 7 through 10-ish?
You know, I first thought about Vikings probably too high with JJ McCarthy, but the more I think about it, they actually are set up perfectly for JJ McCarthy, right? JJ McCarthy, what did he excel at Michigan? He excelled at a orchestrated offense, easy reads, and that's just what O'Connell is going to do for him. He's got good receivers on the outside. He's got good running back, you know. So I don't really doubt that JJ McCarthy is going to have a good year. He could even have a Jaden Daniels type year. Honestly, he's athletic for it, and he's got the weapons around him. So if anything, I would put the Commander. I would probably put the Commanders up there just because of their offseason success. But JJ McCarthy, I would probably put him down around 9.
Gabe, I'll go quick, then I'll go to you. Angel, I don't have a problem with this because these 3 teams are so hard for me. I love JJ McCarthy. Like Derek said, I love the situation they're dropping him into. I think he's perfect. I think he's played at big programs, you know, in big games before. I think he seems like the guy with just a ton of moxie and is going to come in and know how to handle this kind of situation. I think he hits the ground running. I think a year learning and just watching is going to be huge for him. And the fact that Kevin O'Connell said no to all these other quarterbacks, the quarterback guru right now in the league, said no to all these other quarterbacks because of what he's seen in Jason McCarthy. I'm gonna just believe in that. But it's so hard with these 3 because I could see each one of these teams making a case for a top 5 by the end of the year. And so I don't think I'm gonna kill you on any of this order because these 3 teams are tough for me. Gabe.
Yeah, I think the order is perfect. It's fine just the way it is. The Vikings, Joey, you touched on it a couple months ago before the season started even. We talked about the Vikings and how they're set up to do big things. They figured out the quarterback spot. Your point of how they didn't want to go with Aaron Rodgers, they didn't want to go with someone else. Sam Darnold was brought in. It's not necessarily the hand-picked guy. Now you have your hand-picked guy there. I'm going to trust the coaching staff that the Vikings can very well be on the left-hand side of this of this list in a couple months. I like the Vikings at number 7. I get why you're a little optimistic about them if you're not really too sure where they're going to be. And the Packers and Broncos, kind of the same thing. You know, that if there was ever a sophomore year slump, it was with the Packers. It was with Jordan Love. It was with that receiving core. They're kind of a wait and see, and the Broncos are in the same exact boat where it's kind of a wait and see. And the Commanders, I've already kind of spoken on them. I don't think they got better. I don't think they got worse. I just think they just kind of stayed the same. I would put the Bengals at 10, but that's not really the hot thing to say right now. I think this 7, 8, 9, 10 is perfect just the way it is if we have to go with it.
Angel, if you could real quick, 7 through 10, I think they're all arrow up, like ascending organizations with good young quarterbacks. If something like what is going to be the thing that keeps each of these teams out of jumping over to the other side? If you just go one by one.
Yeah, so for Minnesota, it'd be JJ McCarthy. I mean, every time your quarterback's bad, your whole team is going to be bad. So McCarthy would obviously be the big one there. Number 8, the Packers, can they get a wideout one? That's all we're asking for the last 3 years. Just get a wideout one or someone who could at least take that role. Not even have the most yards on the team. Just take a role of a wideout one. It's the one thing that their offense would be near. They have a good O-line, a good running back, a good play caller, but a wideout one that could just win on third down. That's what I want. And then Broncos. I'm a Bronco fan, but we just saw C.J. Stroud go through a sophomore slump. We just don't know yet. So we're hoping that Stroud that Nix takes another step up, but it would be kind of Nix, or if they just punt on running back again and just roll out a bunch of ass running backs. And Commanders, if the Commanders had the offseason that the Vikings had, they'd be like number 3 on my list or number 4. But they just chose a bunch of old guys for cheap. So, or not even for cheap, just old guys. So I guess if the Commanders, if those guys, if Deebo Samuel ends up being exactly what we think he is, older wideout, if Gallup ends up being exactly what he is out of the NFL, then that's how they would stay at 10.
Hey, Derek, being our resident NFC West fan, you watch a lot of Rams games. Any of these teams should be above the Rams?
You know, the more I'm looking at the Vikings offseason, the one underrated move is actually not re-signing Sam Darnold. There was like a little controversy about if they should re-sign Sam Darnold because of the success they had. So the Seahawks signed him for a $100 million deal. So you don't sign him to a $100 million deal. You stick to your rookie quarterback. That allows like Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Will Freeze. These are all the guys that were top at their position group in the free agent class. So those free agents alone should just kind of boost them up ahead of the Rams, I think. Who did the Rams sign? They signed Devontae Adams. Did they sign anyone else?
Punu Ford, defensive tackle.
Okay, did they sign anyone else?
They kept Stafford.
They kept Stafford, right? But like, think about the additions that the Vikings were able to make because of that cap room flexibility. I think we actually got to put the Vikings ahead, even with the JJ McCarthy question mark.
Go ahead.
It's gonna give me a hard time to make me pick McCarthy over Matt Stafford.
That's my
pick. Stafford is one of those guys. There's a reason why every team was willing to pay him. Once the Rams said, "Hey, Stafford, you can go out there and see what you're worth," almost every team was like, "We'll pay you whatever you want." Stafford, until McCarthy showed you something besides not a highlight tape of Michigan football, it's gonna be Stafford over. And this is a quarterback-driven league. I know Vikings did a lot. Their team is great. At the end of the day, can your quarterback get you far, like in the playoffs? So that's why I pick them.
Yeah, the Rams, they're an ascending team too. Like they're insanely young still, especially on the defensive line. They're only going to get better. I have nightmares standing right here watching that TV right there, watching Matt Stafford drive down the field and almost knock the Eagles out of the playoffs. Like they by far played the world champion Philadelphia Eagles the best in the playoffs, and I think they're a force to be reckoned with. I think Devontae Adams is a monster signing. I think that like Cooper Kupp really didn't show up for them last year. He was hurt, just didn't work out. I think I'm legitimately afraid of the Rams as like they're going to be like a 2 seed. I mean, they might try to go for the 1 seed. I like the Rams a lot, and I got a lot of respect for them. Gabe or Andrew, anyone above the Rams here in that bottom 5?
Nah, I think I'd stick where the Rams where they are until everybody keeps saying it. The big question will be, does JJ McCarthy work for the Vikings? Because they have a great team around him. So if he does, then they would probably go above the Rams for me. But
yeah, I'll just say this much: if he does work for the Vikings, they're not only above the Rams, they're above them by a couple spots. So the question mark, it really is that big.
Yeah.
I think if he is, I mean, if JJ McCarthy is like, I don't know what kind of rookie season is like mid. Like I don't want to do like a Jaden Daniels, but if it's like
if he's just efficient with all those weapons around him,
like I have above the Lions. I would put him above the Lions. I legitimately would. Well, their roster is stacked. Like it's so good.
Yeah, last year on my top 10, I think the highest they got to number 1. I think at week 11 or 12.
It was like early on in the year, like week 4 or 5. Or something like
they have that kind of potential because their roster is so freaking stacked. They have everything you'd want. But
I'm a hypocrite. I'm gonna change my mind. The Vikings are above the Rams here. I'm gonna change my mind.
There we go.
Their roster is so good. Derek started saying these names that they got Jonathan Allen. Oh yeah, they got Javon Hargrave, ex-Eagle, and then they got Will Freeze. Damn, I forgot. Like this roster stack. Not to mention they didn't lose Brian Flores. That was supposed to be for sure. Brian Flores is going to go be a head coach somewhere. He stays. That DC stays. We've seen the importance of these veteran DCs, and when it comes to like these crazy offensive schemes they see nowadays, you need someone who's seen everything. God, the Vikings, if J.J. McCarthy could be anything, they could really fly up this list fast. All right, we need to get moving here. Angel, go tackle your next couple teams here.
Yeah, so I'll start with Ravens at number 5. So the biggest they kept I'm blanking out left tackle's name. I'm blanking out.
Ryan
Stanley.
Stanley.
Yeah, that was the biggest move that they could have done because their offensive line is getting decimated. Macari gone, obviously. They signed DeAndre Hopkins, so they'll have another age wideout who won't do anything for them. Yeah, they're too well built to put past 5. Like their team, their roster is very well built. They draft very, very well. Yeah, so I think this is probably out of the top 5, they're my least inspiring top 5 team. They have like Lamar Jackson had a career year last year, and that didn't do anything. It was the same result. They lost in the playoffs. But all that being said, good roster. Their team is relatively young. All their stars, they don't have any old stars that are on their last leg. So I think at number 5 here, they have potential always to be keep it up with any team in the NFL, but I don't see them falling past 6 or 7. This is where I felt comfortable having them.
I think the Ravens are surviving on reputation now. I mean, Derrick Henry is one of the older star players on their team, and the offensive line. You said it's just 2 years in a row now. They've just lost players. They lost, as I said, kept Ronnie Stanley, but they lost Patrick Macari, who kind of just plugged holes for them last year. I'm really concerned about what happened to that O-line. The weapons, like you said, DeAndre Hopkins, that didn't get any better. Derrick Henry eventually is not going to be good anymore, or at least not like dominant Derrick Henry. Eventually, that's going to happen. I'm kind of concerned for the Ravens this year. I mean, if they have another slow start on defense, I think this could kind of get ugly kind of early in the season and see if they could right the ship again. Anyone else concerned about the Ravens possibly falling off this side of the list?
For sure. Yeah, for sure over here. I mean, especially with the way the Rams are trending, where the Vikings are trending, the Ravens, I mean, yeah, they could easily be bumped out. Even the Broncos and the Packers, they take those steps. I mean, they could be right there with the Ravens within a matter of a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like easily. And that's the Broncos and the Packers. That's not even talking about the Rams and the Vikings that, again, I'll say it again, can be way above them in the first couple of weeks.
At what point does their performances in the playoffs and just their inability to make a deep run in the playoffs, despite having all the MVPs for Lamar Jackson and, all the points scored and the elite defenses, and at what point do we start to knock them on well, you'll probably win a lot of games, but we're going to start to dock you in the top 10 because you just refuse to win in the playoffs? When does that happen?
I mean, for me, it already started. For me, I would already have the Rams are at 5. I wouldn't put the Ravens below the Vikings, Packers, or Broncos, or Commanders because they have, there's question marks there. But for me, it's already started now. I think most people going into this year will have the Ravens in their top 5, maybe even 4, possibly even 3. But no, I mean, you have to start thinking about that now. You have to start.
It's hard though. The last 2 off the postseasons, the Ravens lost on a Zay Flowers fumble through the end zone, right? If he just scores instead of fumbling through the end zone, you're talking about a way different game. And then also the same thing, Mark Andrews doesn't drop that 2-point conversion or fumble earlier in the fourth quarter. It's completely different. I mean, they tie the game. I know we harp on them for losing, but these are just one play that swings games, and that's football. And that's football.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to make is that if it happens one time out of 10 seasons, it's fine. But if it consistently happens year after year after year, that's what Joey's saying. When are you going to factor that point in? If it's consistently happening, it's not just happening once or twice. And Mark Andrews messed up twice in that game.
I think that proves they actually are a good team. But isn't that what separates the good teams from the great teams in the NFL? I could point back to a couple of plays in that playoff run for the Eagles where they could have lost, but that's what separates the best teams from the teams that just can't get it done at that level. Those 1 or 2 plays, and yeah, luck does have something to deal with that. But to Gabe's point, God, at what point is this just a pattern? You're going to find a way to screw this up. It sucks for Lamar Jackson because he's getting into Peyton Manning territory where his legacy starting to be he's won a lot of MVPs, set a lot of records. I mean, he had insane numbers last year and just didn't get a championship. Hopefully it does end like Peyton Manning and he gets those championships. Be nice to be with the Ravens as well, but I don't know. Angel, keep going here with the Lions and Chiefs.
Yeah, so Lions obviously the biggest losses they have are both coordinators, but this roster is still freaking good. One of the better O lines, if not the best O line in the NFL, behind the Eagles. Defense obviously getting Hutchinson back helps. Getting those guys just healthy. They were so hurt last year, like on defense. Just getting them healthy again. That's just a win there. But they're 4 here because we saw with the Eagles like 2 years ago how much an effect 2 bad coordinators can be. So we have to see if these 2 coordinators for the Lions here can live up to what Ben Johnson used to do and to what Aaron Glenn did. It's just you're asking a lot for a team that relies offensively on creative play calling. Because Goff is a traditional quarterback, he's a pocket passer, so you need to be creative around him. That's all playmaking and that's all play calling. So I'm curious to see how they bounce back from that, but their roster is so freaking good. They're young and they're getting Hutchinson back. It's just hard to move them past 4. But this is probably the lowest I'll probably ever put them, and that's just how I see it.
Let's go. Derek, Gabe, and Andrew. The Lions losing both coordinators. How nervous are you about Dan Campbell being a little bit exposed without the really good team of coordinators he had behind him the last couple of years?
I think you got to start treating the Lions like the Ravens if you're going to have to be fair here, right? Because the Lions, they crapped the bed two postseason games in a row. That's the Niners where they had like a 30-point lead, blew it. You're talking about at home against the Commanders, blew it, like blown out the water. And I know we talk about Aaron. I don't understand why Aaron Glenn got a job, because when the Lions were healthy, they weren't necessarily a good defense. No. They had Aiden Hutchinson, but you had guys like Geno Smith balling them up for 400 yards 3 years in a row.
So, Geno.
But like,
Geno.
I'm just saying, I think the Lions are actually on Ravens watch. They are going to be another postseason loss away from just questioning, are they ever going to get past the hump? So then I think you would actually have to kind of respect the Rams and put them up even further, because you always fear the Rams that they're going to make the play because of Matt Stafford, because of McVay, right? And like you said, if the Eagles game, if it doesn't snow, the Rams might just win that game.
Yeah, that's one thing about that game. Pre-snow,
they didn't win it, but they might just win it.
Joey doesn't agree with that take at all.
I just, the Eagles played they didn't play on like a dry field on the other side. Like the Eagles were in the snow too.
But I do like what Derek said. If they lose again this year, they start to question, well, is it Jared Goff? Is it the coordinators? Like, who is it? Because it becomes this, like, if you're this far and this high up, you're not winning. Quarterback and head coach are the first ones, and you're not going to get rid of Dan Campbell. So is there like a Jared Goff thing if they don't win again this year? They're a tough team because both coordinators gone. And Aaron Glenn wasn't like a amazing coordinator like Derek said. So I'm curious to see how they rebound this year.
Over under 10.5 wins is what Vegas has right now as the line.
Well, that's probably because the division's so tough. Like the Bears probably still a couple wins.
I mean, let's pick it though. Let's go Derek, Drew, Angel, Gabe. 10.5 wins.
I might actually have to go under.
I'll say over. Their roster is still super talented. So
I'll go over too, just out of respect. That's probably the only reason why I'm going over.
Dan Campbell has proven that he could be a leader of men. He could be a leader. He's going to bring the right people in. He's going to put this team in the right situation. He always has. Since the moment he came into this organization, he's put the team in the right spot to win. I'm going to trust him in the next stage. Now you lose your OC, you lose your DC. This is a part of being a head coach. I'm going to trust the man to do his damn job. The Lions are right where they're supposed to be.
NFC
North. To answer your question, definitely above 10.
NFC North is going to be a bloodbath again. It's going to be, the teams that come out of there are going to be scary. Angel, let's tackle your top 3 here. Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, real quick. Just looking at the Lions schedule, you have to play the NFC East, which is actually pretty tough. You got the Eagles, the Cowboys, they'll be tough. The
Russell
Commanders,
Wilson.
Russell Wilson in there. But they also play the AFC North. So you play
Russell Wilson. Oh my god.
They play the entire
yeah,
teams of both of those divisions. They play the entire teams of both those divisions. Those are like pretty relatively tough divisions. Definitely not the AFC South. All right.
Yeah.
And then you also play the first place schedule, right? It's because they were the first place in the NFC North, you're gonna have to play the first place in the AFC West, which is Kansas City, and the NFC South, which is Tampa Bay, and the NFC West, which is Los Angeles Rams. So those are really tough opponents. It's a tough schedule.
I'm picking under.
All those people are in the top 10 that we're just looking at right here.
Yeah, it's Lions have this is not a prove it year, but near it, like pretty close to like. Are you guys for real or just a really good regular season team? Like, can you guys actually make this into a Super Bowl run?
Hit this top 3 inch.
Yeah, Chiefs here. I'm gonna trust Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I know they lost Tooney, they lost Justin Reed, but they're in the Super Bowl every year. Let's just trust them. And I don't know how. I don't know how they keep on rebounding after losing Tyreek Hill. We thought, the world was over. After we saw Travis Kelce was insane, we thought, oh, there's no way that they get back. And then this year, like, oh, Tooney's gone, and they were exposed on the O line. I promise you, they'll be right back up, right back in the AFC title game. Mahomes and Andy Reid are up there with Brady, Belichick. So this is more respect, but also they're still a good team. Like that defense is so strong. They still have Spags. Next year they get Rashee Rice back, so I think that wideout core will get more productive than what it was last year. I think this is where they belong. I would not put the Lions over the Chiefs just because we've seen the Chiefs do it with not a lot of talent, and the Lions we just haven't seen that.
Does anyone else think just one terrible season is coming for the Chiefs?
We've been waiting for it.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, as a Raiders fan, dude, I can't stand them. I can't stand them. But they play good football. And Andy Reid, unless Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, I don't see how they have.
Don't even say that. Don't say that.
Oh, I'm just saying it.
What a Raiders fan!
We know you're just saying it.
You're such a Raiders fan, and for that reason, I don't trust you to foresee a terrible season coming.
Yeah.
You're losing a lot of talent now defensively. They made the Super Bowl last year, and they're like, I don't know how to reconcile that, and also like they were not very good during the year. They just like squeaked out games. They're just like the other side of the lucky coin that the Bengals were kept losing on. I think they're a little more overrated going into the playoffs. I think that proved to be true, and I think I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned about them. I do like the weapons better this year with Rashee Rice coming back and Xavier Worthy showing out late in the season. But, I mean, I don't know. Just I can't take another year of them barely winning and just keep them in the top 3. I won't do that this year.
But we thought the same thing when they lost Tyreek Hill. With the same thing when they kept losing when they lost Snead. Like they keep losing guys and they keep being and keep winning. So until they stop winning, then I'll stop believing. They've been the Super Bowl last 4 years in a row. I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna. And Mahomes isn't old. Chris Jones still playing at a high level. So and that offensive line still is not the same, but it's still decent. They still have Humphrey and Trey Smith, so they're not terrible there. So I trust them with almost as much as any team in the NFL.
The offensive line is terrible. Come on.
I wouldn't say it's terrible. I just think
terrible.
I think
not terrible. Terrible is like the
happen
Patriots
to have a great, probably one of the best D lines in the league, if not the best. So
yeah, it's not the Seahawks offensive line. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely. Seahawks.
Okay, it's not proven a good point by naming the other awful O-lines in the league.
No, they're just not at that not at that level of the Seattle.
It cost them a Super Bowl, and they didn't fix it.
Well, they played a very good front. Like that's just when you get Super Bowl, those are two very good teams.
I mean, they're going to play.
It didn't, up to that point, they were able to beat Buffalo, right? And Buffalo, Buffalo is a good team. The Chiefs, I'm not ever gonna. If they have Mahomes and they have Reed, I'm not ever gonna underrate them because there's no underrating them.
I'm just saying, at some point, the season's going to come where the breaks don't go their way, and they have a season similar to what the Bengals went through last year. Where, they're still a good team, they still have great coaching, they still have a great quarterback, but just when you're not getting everything to go your way at the end of the game, especially tough season possibly coming. But we'll see. It's the Chiefs. I'm probably wrong. Bills and Eagles, Ainge. Let's finish this out.
Bills here basically traded Von Miller for Joey Bosa, so that's even. I think they're both kind of hurt edge rushers. Traded Amari Cooper for Josh Palmer. That's how bad Amari Cooper has been. That Josh Palmer is getting the contract that Amari Cooper should have gotten. Palmer's in good, but besides that, Josh Allen's playing his best ball of his career. Defense is still strong. James Cook is emerging as one of the better running backs in the league. Shakir kind of broke out last year. This is a good team. Well coached, Josh Allen. If it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen would be like the running the AFC for the last 5 years. But Patrick Mahomes obviously does that. They just didn't lose anybody, and last year they were a pretty good team. So because the Chiefs lost so many players and the Bills didn't, that's the only reason why I'm putting the Bills up a little bit over them. But this could be switched very easily. This was one I wasn't confident on, but I put the Bills over the Chiefs here.
Derek, why do we not treat Josh Allen the way we treat Lamar Jackson? Are we just a bunch of racists?
We should. We should. Like his little Joel Embiid type MVP. Like that should have gone to Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
That's so disrespectful. How am I going to address this?
Lamar Jackson was so much better in every category this year. Yeah. And then they had to give it to Josh Allen because he hadn't won one yet. You know, this is like the same thing when LeBron was winning all those MVPs and they had to give one to Derrick Rose. I love Derrick Rose. My name is literally Derek, spelled the exact same way. But it belongs to LeBron James.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not talking about LeBron James. We're not talking about
Okay. Yeah, that's a different topic. But we should treat Josh Allen the same way as we do Lamar Jackson. We said deep playoff runs, and at what point do you just say, you know, is it the quarterback? Because I mean, he makes all the deep runs. Yeah, you could say the same thing as I said with Lamar Jackson. Like it's one play here, one play there. It's every single year. It's always one play, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a coaching thing with them more than anything.
I had thought that they should have been on the Vrabel train. They should have seen like that. I legit thought that, but like the Chiefs, I give them one more year. They're just, or sorry, like the Baltimore Ravens. They're just a really good team, and it just takes one play. So we'll see if this is the year that the one play happens.
They just keep running it back, and just like I don't know, nothing's different.
Maybe like the Ravens and the Bills should just switch head coaches and see what happens. Harbaugh go to Buffalo and McDermott go to Baltimore. See if that fixes things. Because I don't know what it is for these two teams.
I do think they are the best team in the AFC. I get them the Chiefs, I guess. Like there's no one else kind of threatening that. There's obviously some teams on the up and up, but I was thinking about it. I was thinking like, why don't we do what's Josh Allen what we did to Lamar Jackson? Is it because of his chick? What's her name?
Haley Steinfeld.
Are they just too beautiful?
She's a woman, first of all, not a chick.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up here by talking about the world champs up top. Number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Let's talk about questions. Like obviously, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
No, they're just what good teams do is that when you're about to lose players, you draft the guys like behind them. Becton's gone. I have full confidence that is it Stein or Steen, right guard?
Tyler Steen, yeah.
Tyler Steen. I'm full confident that he'll be a perfectly good right guard. That doesn't scare me at all. Milton Williams, you can draft a rotational defensive tackle in this draft. There's so many guys like that in this draft. And they probably will. They're in a nice spot there. I just trust Roseman here just do what he's always done. Draft well and prepare this team for when they lose lose guys. So it's hard to pick against this team, against Saquon Barkley, against Jalen Hurts, against his defense. It's just the most well-built team in the NFL, and it's really, really good football team.
I'm obviously excited about the Eagles coming off Super Bowl, but I do think they're in a position where a lot of young guys are going to have to step up. Howie Roseman said as much at the owners' meetings. They got rid of their vets. Josh Sweat's gone. We saw him show out in the Super Bowl. You mentioned Milton Williams. Darius Slay's gone now. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's gone now. These are big-time veterans who made big-time plays in big games, and you're going to ask now guys who are in a rotational role to kind of lead those rooms now. And so if there is a question mark about the Eagles team, it's going to be that. Can Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt be what Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat have been for the Eagles in the last couple of years in that defensive secondary. Is Quinyon Mitchell ready to be a CB1? Like, he kind of fell into a great situation where he got to guard the second best guy over there, stay on one side of the field because Darius Slay's on the other side. I think there is some questions about the Eagles, but yeah, I think at this point I trust Howie Roseman. I trust that they know how to navigate this, and we'll see. I mean, also that whole Super Bowl hangover thing. It's kind of interesting. Have you guys seen a couple of Devontae Smith and AJ Brown both made this kind of like weird, a little depressing statement where, yeah, we won the Super Bowl, and it was kind of like, this is it.
Yeah, maybe they want more. That's how you scratch that. Just start collecting rings, and it is weird, but these are athletes they're just built differently than every other human. They're not real people. They think differently. So I think they're still a great team, and those comments just.
How the heck is that depressing to you?
No, Angel. I mean, I don't know if you guys caught this, but in the same 10 minutes, Angel said women can't do what men can do, and athletes aren't real people. Shut up and dribble, basically.
No. I was literally saying,
Jesus,
like, athletes to get to the NFL level, they're just not built like us.
Yeah, I know.
They're just different. They're just way different. I still believe that women can do it.
Well, okay, hey, here's a bright spot for the Eagles here. Okay, let me move off a little bit of this topic.
Let's get back into it.
You lose
Angel Reese.
Angel Tovar, Angel Reese. I don't know the
Derek's
difference.
like, I need to say this.
No.
Hey, so the Eagles, they lose Mekhi Becton. They lose Josh Sweat, right? Offensive guard and defensive line. What does Howie Roseman do best? He drafts University of Georgia players. Okay. Hey, who is at the top of offensive guard list and the defensive line? You got 3 Georgia players within the top 5 of each of those position groups. Howie Roseman is going to draft well.
For sure.
Just
as long as they don't drive fast, Howie Roseman will draft them.
Dude, I've been on this thing. NFL players should not drive anywhere. Just get drivers. They're all kind of idiots.
It should be illegal.
Yeah, well, that's coming from the Henry Ruggs fan. Yeah, obviously,
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you also gotta imagine you probably drove crap cars your whole life because maybe you didn't have any money, and now you can finally afford the nicest cars in the world, and you want them to not drive.
Well, also be responsible. You're a millionaire. Let's keep some of this money. You know how much money people have lost because they can't drive 45 miles per hour?
We'll see you again on Friday. Again, don't forget to jump on TikTok tomorrow. Angel will be going live. What time, Angel?
Put on the spot. I don't know yet. So at some time, at some time, I'll take. I don't know, Joey.
See by your phone.
Sometime within the 24 hours that will consist of Wednesday, Angel will be live for one of those hours. So check that out at Bench Show for that as well. Again, join us on April 24th, draft live stream. That's all I got for today. See you guys on Friday. Bye.
Hey.